New York, 1929. The city is a machine that learned how to sing. Subway thunder under your feet, saxophones in the night, and above it all, a new religion, the number on the tape. This is a week before the collapse. Not the day it falls, the week it still believes it can't. If you could walk it with me, hour by hour, you'd feel two New Yorks at once. The one made of granite, steam, and sweat, and the one made of paper promises. Monday. The city opens its eyes. Dawn peels back the fog on the Hudson. Ferries cut the water like knives. Streetlights blink out one by one, as if the city is exhaling. On Wall Street, men in stiff collars move fast but pretend they're not rushing. Newsboys shout headlines you don't quite read, because your eyes keep drifting to the crowd flowing toward the exchange. Inside brokerage offices, there's a sound you never forget. The ticker, a constant metallic whisper, like a small animal trapped in a box, scratching out fortunes. A clerk pins up fresh quotes. A man laughs too loudly. Another man doesn't laugh at all. And on the sidewalk, the shoeshine boy says it, casual, confident. Buy it now, it only goes up. You hear that line everywhere this week. It's not advice, it's faith. Take the subway north. The cars smell like wool coats and cigarettes. You surface into Midtown where steel frames rise like rib cages. The Chrysler building is climbing, still unfinished, still daring the sky. Riveters balance on beams, tiny silhouettes against the sun, as if fear is optional. New York feels permanent. That's the trick. A city this solid shouldn't be able to break. Up above the avenues, the elevated train rattles like a metal spine. You look down and see Manhattan in slices, hat brims, trolley sparks, delivery boys weaving through traffic. Every block feels like a bet placed on speed. A few streets east, the air smells like onions, coal smoke, and wet laundry. A garment worker shakes dust from a sleeve, fingers nicked from needles, eyes fixed on the next stitch. This is the New York that doesn't care about charts, it cares about orders. And yet, even here, the market's story leaks in. A man reads the stock page on a stoop like it's scripture, not because he's wealthy, because hope travels faster than wages. Tuesday, easy money, hard smiles. A man signs a margin agreement with a pen that trembles just slightly. He's not buying a stock, he's renting a dream with borrowed money. In a corner, someone whispers, 10% down, that's all you need. 10%. A small key that opens a very heavy door. A phone rings. Another. Then 10 more. Orders stack like poker chips. And you start to notice something. Nobody talks about the companies. They talk about the price. Up a point, down a half. As if the only truth in America is motion. Now the other New York, coats with fur collars, perfume, taxi horns, store windows glow like theatres, radios, jewellery, silk dresses, shiny new appliances. A couple pauses at a display and smiles like the future is already paid for, because in their minds, it is. They've seen the chart, they've seen the climb, they think they've seen the end of risk. Nickel coffee, pie behind glass, people eat standing up. A clerk says his cousin doubled money in 2 weeks. A waitress says her landlord is investing now and raising the rent. Someone mentions buying on margin like it's a discount, not a loan. Electric signs blaze bright enough to erase the stars. Crowds pour past theatres, laughing, jostling, alive. A man in a cheap suit looks up at the lights like he's staring at heaven and says, "Next year, I'm buying a house." The week keeps moving, bright and loud, yet underneath you can feel the city hold its breath, like a singer just before the note breaks. Wednesday. Work and music. Before jazz and brokers, the docks wake up. Longshoremen shoulder crates, sweat through shirts, argue, laugh. Here the economy has weight. It pinches fingers, it strains backs. A foreman frowns at a delay, small friction, but it adds up. Rows of operators connect the city with quick, precise hands. They hear everything and own nothing. Rumours pass through their wires. A broker shouting, a banker whispering, a wife asking, "Are we okay?" The operators don't answer. They just keep New York talking, walk uptown. The air changes, it's warmer, louder, alive. A band inside a club pushes a melody so bright it feels like defiance. Trumpet, piano, a drum that hits like a heartbeat. Voices rise, jokes, arguments, laughter that doesn't ask permission. Here, money is real, it's rent, it's food, it's the tip folded into a palm. But even here, the market's shadow reaches. A well-dressed man at the bar mentions a sure thing, like he's passing a cigarette. Someone nods. Someone else says, everybody's in. That phrase, everybody's in, is always a warning. It sounds like safety. It's actually crowding at the edge of a cliff. Tay. Back downtown, a family listens to the radio. The announcer's voice is smooth as varnish. The world feels smaller every year, faster, connected, humming, and while the radio talks about progress, a father glances at a folder on the table. Loan papers, broker statements, numbers that look clean, simple, harmless. He tells himself, I'm providing. He doesn't know he's stacking kindling. Thursday. The first quiet crack. The street is more crowded today, not panicked, just dense, shoulder-to-shoulder curiosity. Inside, the tape stutters, just for a moment. Then it speeds up again. People joke about it, but their jokes have sharp edges. A broker wipes his forehead, and you realize it's not hot. It's October. That sweat is not weather. A partner closes the door and lowers his voice. We're stretched. He doesn't say scared. Men like this don't say scared. He taps a ledger line and you realize the whole tower rests on one thing, confidence. And confidence doesn't shatter like glass. It evaporates like steam. Lunch is coffee, pie, and fast whispers. At the counter, a man says, they're taking profits. Another replies, that's healthy. Everyone wants the dip to be a story with a happy ending. Outside, trucks rattle by carrying crates. Street vendors sell hot chestnuts. A construction crew yells over the noise. The city is still doing city things, and that normalness is unsettling, because it makes you think nothing can happen, because it makes you think history needs permission. Friday. The weekend money. Men argue over the market like it's a prize fight. Shakeout, healthy dip, new highs. The barber doesn't take sides. He just keeps cutting. He's seen too many men walk in rich in the head and leave poor in the eyes. Friday is when people settle accounts, when margins get called quietly, when loans get renewed with a smile that doesn't reach the eyes. A man walks out of a bank holding a small envelope. He looks at it like it's heavier than it should be. In the late afternoon light, you can see it, a subtle shift in posture. People still talk big, but they listen more than they speak. Now come underground, a door behind a door, a nod to a man who doesn't nod back. Inside, the room glows amber, gin in teacups, a piano running downhill, everyone pretending the country isn't dry. Someone toasts, to next week. Glasses clink. For a second, it feels like immortality. Then a man near the wall says, barely audible, my broker says be careful. And the laughter hesitates, just a fraction, like a dancer missing one beat. In the glass, watches, rings, a saxophone, a violin, ordinary objects, until you realize what they are. Plans converted into cash, quietly, before anyone admits the weather changed. Saturday, the city spends. Saturday tries to wash the week away. Families ride the train out to the edge of the ocean. Coney Island is noise and salt and sugar. Roller coasters, barking games, cotton candy. You watch a father buy tickets with the confidence of a man who thinks next month is guaranteed. But look closer. A mother folds coins into her purse like she's counting twice. A shopkeeper watches the crowd with a different kind of smile. The smile of someone who knows crowds can vanish. Velvet seats, a screen glowing like an altar. People come to forget numbers for 90 minutes. When the lights come up, the spell breaks. A man checks his pocket for a broker's note. A woman checks her purse for grocery money. Back in the neighborhoods, you pass brownstones with warm windows. A woman shakes a rug from a stoop. Kids play stickball in the street, yelling rules into existence. Life is sturdy. Life is stubborn. It keeps going even when the ceiling is cracking. Sunday. Before the door slams. Sunday quiets the city. Not completely. New York never goes silent, but it lowers its voice. A preacher talks about humility, about false idols, about storms you don't see until they're on top of you. Some men in the pews nod like they agree. Then they step outside and check the paper anyway. Central Park is autumn gold. Couples stroll, vendors push carts. A boy sails a toy boat on the pond, and in a bench's shadow, two businessmen talk numbers like they're discussing the weather. One says, "If it drops, I'll buy more." The other says, "It won't drop." They both sound certain. That's what makes it frightening.